And welcome back to Mohawk College, where we have some more OCAA action here at Mohawk College against Cambrian College. And we're going to have a really good game ahead of us here.
Yeah, Wes. We're going to have a great game here tonight. Mohawk coming off a tough loss. They're going to see if they can bounce back. Coming up right next, right here on OCAA action.
And we are just about to get underway here, as Mohawk is about to face Cambrian and some more OCAA action. Team's just about to take the court here.
Yes, Trey Hamilton, our resident stadium announcer, chants out the Mohawk Mountaineers starting lineup.
Mohawk is going to be looking to beat Cambrian again, as they had just beat them the last time they played them.
Yeah, and that was a good game as well. Mohawk, not a great game though last night.
No, not so much.
No, because they fell to the always powerful Humber Hawks.
Always powerful is just, that's one way to say it.
What is it, eight or nine straight gold medals? That's ridiculous.
And we got the first serve of the game here by Kendra Mufo from Cambrian. Big block. The set. And they just look to send it out. And the Mohawk girls see that that's going out of bounds, and they just let that fly right out as they pick up that first point. Amanda Kuiper will serve now. The dig. And they send it over, a diving play by Kuiper to keep it alive. Two girls running for it. Unfortunately, Kinsey Child cannot reach it as she dives and slides halfway across the court almost, as Cambrian picks up their first point of the game.
Yeah, can't be mad at that effort, Wes.
And now Haley Chisholm will serve for Cambrian. The dig. Ooh, a one-handed set and a nice blast right there by Danielle Camps. Kelsey Kovar now is serve. Stony Creek, that's from around the neck of the woods here.
Yeah, local you can say. Not that far away. Guess you can kind of call anyone from
That's a big
Burlington.
spike by Emily Clark of Cambrian to put it right through the Mohawk defense.
Yeah, anyone from Burlington to Stony Creek, I guess you could call them local. And
I
still,
guess you could.
yeah, I would. I mean, you're still pretty close.
Mohawk
Not
picks up
hometown by any means.
a tricky point there. As Lindsay Vanderwide just sends one straight down, and unfortunately the Boreal squad, I mean not the Boreal squad, the Cambrian squad was not able to pick up the point.
You're living in the past here, Wes.
I guess so.
Speaking of Boreal, Mohawk enjoyed a really nice win against them, though, whenever they faced each other. 2-0 on the season, 6 straight sets they won.
Cambrian picks up another point there as they keep it tied at 3. As I said, went just past Danielle Camps, so she made a diving effort but was unable to keep the ball alive. And now Isabella Rivet had the serve for Cambrian there. Lindsay Vanderwide look to put the ball just over. Diving play by Amanda Kuiper.
Straight desperation play there, and it looks like we might need another one. This one's easy.
And Lindsay Vanderwide sends it over. A quick tip, but unfortunately there was nobody there, and that point was picked up by Amanda Kring. Isabella Rivet now has a serve for Cambrian. Kelsey Kovar with a nice dig there. And a big point by Jessica Heidbert.
Yeah, starting to tally them already. That's
showing their power.
110 kills for her on the season, Jessica Heidbert, and that makes it 111.
Lindsay Vanderwide now has a serve for Mohawk. Two players go for the same dig there. And they look to send it over the net. And that is out on the Cambrian squad. A little tricky there as the ball rolled along the top of the net and out of bounds. But Cambrian was the last to touch it. So that is another point for Mohawk. So they go up 5-4 here. Lindsay Vanderwide now has a serve. Diving dig there. Kelsey Kovar with the dig. And a huge blast from Jessica Heidbert that all Brianne Barrio could do was just put up her hands and try to defend herself there. She almost took that in the face.
Yeah, it looked more like self-defense there than actually trying to go for the dig.
For real.
Worked out just about the same.
Lindsay Vanderwide, third serve in a row.
She nailed the net there. That was an easy call.
Jesse McIsaac. Blasted straight back. Amanda Kring now is the serve. And it's right into the net. As Mohawk picks up an easy point there off the air.
Yeah, and they're going to have to watch out for that as service errors, big part of this team. 137 on the season, currently sits in second. That's Cambrian.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Point from... Oh, no, that was a point for Cambrian. As I believed it looked out of bounds to me, but I guess it ticked off of one of the Mohawk players, and Cambrian picks up a point there. Jillian Vallier serving. Dig by Camps. Kelsey Kovar comes in for a huge spike, but it gets blocked. Kinsey Child with the dig. And Kelsey Kovar comes in for a second spike, and the second one was the one that got through, as the Cambrian squad was just unable to handle 2 in a row.
Yeah, and you're lucky if you get one against Kelsey. She's got a cannon on her.
That she does. Jessica Heibert now has a serve for Mohawk. A low floater over the net. That was a tip by Cambrian. And I'm quite confused as to what that was there. That was a point for Cambrian, but I'm not quite sure what happened. Kendra Mufo now has the serve through all the confusion. Kelsey Cover with another spike that sends it right past the hands of Haley Chisholm and Emily Clark, and they just were unable to defend that. Amanda Kuiper now at the serve. Ticks off the top of the net, but the Cambrians got to manage to keep it alive. Big spike, but an even bigger block by Mohawk. The dig by McIsaac. And the big spike by Lindsay Vanderwide.
What a gorgeous back set there to the powerful kill.
Absolutely gorgeous. Amanda Krang made the diving effort to try to get the ball, but was just unable to reach it. And now Amanda Kuiper has their second serve in a row. Diving dig. And the ball hits the net as the Cambrian hits the ground, as the Cambrian squad just seemed to be ball watching there. They weren't quite sure who was going to get it.
Yeah, it looked like they were just kind of giving it up to one person to go after, and there was about 3 people that were a lot closer than her.
Amanda Kuiper has one tick off the tip of her fingers there, as it looked more like she was shooting for a basketball shot.
Yeah, it just comes up short on that
taking a
one.
free throw. And now Haley Chisholm has the serve for Cambrian. Kinsey Child with the dig. And Lindsay Vanderwide looks to just send it over the net. Looks to be going out of bounds. But the Cambrian squad kept the ball in as Haley Chisholm looked like she went to just keep it alive, but it hit the palms of her hand and went straight down. Now Kelsey Kovar with the serve for Mohawk. Big spike, but even bigger block by Mohawk. Cambrian sends their net. Kelsey Kovar has the dig. And just some miscommunication there by the Mohawk squad as they went to do this. They set it up for the big blast to come through, but just some missed timing there.
Yeah, and that's bound to happen eventually, but it's never pretty. You never want it to happen. It's just a
Emily Clark now
misplay.
serving for Cambrian. Kelsey Kovar keeps the ball alive with the dig. Jessica Hyper with the blast, but the Cambrian squad keeps it alive. Kenzie Child with the dig. And Danielle Camps comes in for the huge spike. But Jillian Valier has an even bigger block, as they've stayed within 2 points, and Mohawks only have 12-10 here. And now Emily Clark will have the serve. Dig by Kovar. Jesse McIsaac comes in for the huge spike, but it gets blocked. Diving dig there by Kovar to keep the ball alive. Vanderwey with the spike, but it gets dug and kept alive again. Diving effort by Kuiper there. What a rally, and that ends up going to the Cambrian squad as they snipe one just inside of the zone there.
It's important to note here, Wes, that Mohawk sits 5th in the Western League, and Cambrian currently sits 7th. So only 2 spots in between them, but Mohawk is over 500 at 7-5, and Cambrian sits at 5-8. So there's some distance in there in between those 2 spots.
Mohawk definitely has a leg up on Cambrian here.
Well, Cambrian would like to come back, I think. Well, obviously, they'd like to come back and start that comeback here tonight.
So far, Cambrian's keeping it in close and really showing that there really isn't too much of a difference there, as they now have their first lead of the game.
Yeah, 13-12 now for Cambrian over Mohawk.
Emily Clark now serving. The dig by Kelsey Kovar. Lindsay Vanderwey comes in for the spike, but Amanda Kuiper keeps the ball alive. Danielle Camp sends it over. And a quick tip by Jillian Valier. But unfortunately, some miscommunication by the Cambrian squad as nobody went up to send it over the net, and it just comes out and hits the ground. And there was now a substitution as Jordan Geertz comes in, and Danielle Camps goes out. Now Jordan Geertz has the serve. Scrambling digs by Cambrian, but they managed to send the ball over. And Lindsay Vanderwide with another spike and another point. As Mohawk now takes back the lead, 14-13. And Jordan Geertz with the serve once again. Dig by Cambrian. And almost a miscommunication, but they managed to send the ball over the net. That is another point for the Mohawk squad, as that was, I believe, a lift by Cambrian. Now Jordan Geertz, third serve in a row here. A quick tip, but that is a point for Cambrian, as Mohawk touched the net there. And now Jordan Geertz goes out, Danielle Camps comes back in.
Yeah, just unlucky there, coming down off the block and just hit the net.
And now Isabella Reve has to serve again. Vanderwide sets the dig up to give herself the spike. And the second time's the charm, as she absolutely blasted off the hands of Isabella Reve, and she was just unable to handle it.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. She put it right through the two blockers, hit off the one hand, and just straight to the ground.
Lindsay Vanderwide now has the serve for Mohawk. The dig. Danielle Camps with the diving effort. Jessica Isaac with the powerful shot, but it gets blocked. And the second time's the charm, but a diving effort by Cambrian. Two diving efforts by Cambrian keep the ball alive. But the last hit, they were unable to send it over the net, as Mohawk picks up that point from a scrambling Cambrian squad. Lindsay Vanderwide now has the serve again. The dig. And a big block. Kovar with the dig. Jessica McIsaac comes in to send the ball over the net. And Barrio keeps it alive. And a diving effort by McIsaac and other Mohawk players, but it just manages to land directly in the one spot where none of them could reach. But Mohawk still holds a 2-point lead here. Cambrian looking to even that out. Amanda Kring now serving. The dig back over. And a big point earned there by Jessica Heidberg as she blasts one right off the hands of the Boreals. Not the Boreal, the Cambrian. My mistake, squad.
Yeah, well, you're having a tough time with that one here tonight, Wes.
I guess so. Mohawk 18-15. Jessica Isaac got the serve. Jessica Isaac with the dig. But unfortunately, Kelsey Kovar was unable to send the ball over the net. And nobody was able to touch it, as it would have been a fourth touch. So that's an easy pickup for Cambrian, as they're trying to stay within two here, Mohawk. Jillian Valier now has a serve for Mohawk. For Cambrian.
And right there, that causes a timeout, I believe, or just substitution possibly. Yeah, just a substitution.
Just a quick substitution. As Aim Pello now comes out.
Yeah, Jessica Heibert gonna take a seat just for a minute, I'm sure.
Scrambling effort by Cambrian, but they send the ball back over the net. Diving play by McIsaac. Kelsey Kovar with a blast, but it gets blocked, and Mohawk scrambling to keep the ball alive, and they send it over the net. And a blast, but McIsaac keeps the ball alive again. Kovar sends it over. A strong effort by Mohawk as they send up two blocks, and the Cambrian squad didn't even put it off the hands of the Mohawk squad. They just sent it straight out of bounds.
Yeah, I was really impressed there, and now that's going to force a timeout here for Cambrian. But I was really so impressed with the defense there for Mohawk. Their offense has been on display here so far today, but that defensive work right there, they didn't have a whole lot going on offense. They were kind of just sending the ball over, just barely protecting, and then eventually they allowed Cambrian to make a mistake and send it out of bounds.
That's the whole thing here. Mohawk, statistically speaking, is the better team and has a higher ranking, so Mohawk would realistically just be looking to try to let Cambrian make their own mistakes here.
Yeah, especially whenever you see a team that has that many service errors and a team possibly that you can take advantage of, get free points from those. We take a look at Coach Matthew Schnarr here. So he has been very vocal, even whenever his team is ahead so far in this game. He always seems to be.
He's a very passionate man.
Yeah, high-intensity coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I've been really, really impressed, and I just can't get enough of it. The back sets from Kuiper so far tonight has been
they've been absolutely amazing. We haven't talked about it much because they happen quick, but her sets have been critical for Mohawk to be able to get the points that they have.
Yeah, she had one mistake, but other than that, and every other game that we come out in here and watch, there's a reason why Mohawk has such powerful killers. It's because she's setting them up. She's giving them beautiful sets, back sets. Doesn't matter what it is, she can do it all.
Kuiper and Vanderwide have really been, so far for this game, the two powerhouses for Mohawk.
Yeah.
Now Impello with the serve again. The Dagan Cambrian squad comes in with a powerful shot. And Kelsey Kovar with an absolute blast off the fingertips of the Cambrian squad. Emily Clark went up there, but was just unable to block as Kelsey Kovar just blasted that right through her hands. The dig. Diving effort by Pello to keep the ball alive. Kelsey Kovar blasted, but that is a point for Cambrian as Kelsey Kovar touched the net going up for that set.
Yeah, that was difficult to see exactly who touched the net there. They both went up. One went up for the block, and she went up for the set. And they
just brushed the net there.
Just brushed the net.
Kendra Mufo. Dig by Kovar. Diving effort by Cambrian, and they managed to keep the ball alive and send it over the net. Huge blast by Kovar off the hands and out of bounds. That is a point for Mohawk. As Mohawk now leads by 5 points here, 22-17.
Yeah, and that is the magic of the girls' team here at Mohawk. They just all of a sudden will just jump out and then kind of just take a set away from you before you even know what happened.
Amanda Kuiper with the serve.
And they continue to do so.
And they get the point. And that forces Cambrian to call a timeout as they now see themselves down 6 points. Not really quite sure what happened because it was no more than 3-4 minutes ago where they were tied.
Oh, well, they were not even. Cambrian was up 13-12 at one point. They had taken the lead for just a second, and then Mohawk said no thanks, and they took it right back.
Mohawk took back control of the game.
Straight control, as they now sit 2 points away from taking this first set.
Matthew Schnarr probably telling his team just to keep the foot on the pedal and not let up here, as they seemingly have now put the game into their own control.
And that'll be the end of the timeout as we're just about set for action. Mohawk leading at 23-17 here over the Cambrian Golden Shield.
The Golden Shield.
Yeah, pretty cool name.
Amanda Kuiper will have the serve here after that quick timeout. What a snipe by Amanda Kuiper as two Cambrian girls both went for it and ran into each other. And the ball managed to just perfectly soar through them and land on that back line. Still in. Mohawk went out 1 point away from ending out this set. But unfortunately, she cannot do it again as Kuiper sends that one out of bounds. Haley Chisholm now serving for Cambrian. Two Mohawk players go for the dig together, and that ends up being a communication mistake as it ends up sending the ball out of bounds. Nobody's able to recover it.
Yeah, now a 5-point difference, but Mohawk still just 1 point away from taking this set now.
Haley Chisholm once again with the serve for Cambrian. And with a service error that easily shows why they are second, or why they have the second most service errors in the league.
Yeah, they're climbing. They're trying to get to first, I think.
As Mohawk manages to take that. Teams are about to switch sides just before the second set's going to start up here. Get a little break. After that was a very close fought set for the most part until the very end there when Mohawk just ran away.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty back and forth for the most part, and then all of a sudden at the end, yeah, you didn't. It was just a little bit of a change. 25-19 though to end it out in the first set. Could have a nice long game here, to be honest. I can't say that Mohawk is going to for sure just be able to walk all over this Cambrian squad. You can never really say that, but it does feel like it's going to be a little bit of a closer matchup here today.
By the looks of it, here we're looking at some highlights as Mohawk's just powering through the Cambrian squad. As you can see, they're just putting their spikes perfectly just through them and off them. There's just nothing Cambrian's been able to do.
Yeah, they go up for the blocks, Wes, but yeah, like you said, it just hits off them, and
they're not putting up the full wall to really give that effect. They're going up separately. They're not going up time together. They're putting their hands apart. They're leaving holes, and Mohawk's just been finding them and putting it right through.
Yeah, Mohawk's offense rolling so far here. And one of the reasons why they're rolling, this girl right here, Jessica Heidbert, Waterdown, Ontario product, 5'11". She is a monster on the offensive end.
Sitting 9th currently, top 10 player for Mohawk. Mohawk's got 2 players in the top 20, 3 in the top 50. And that could be a difference here as Cambrian only has 1 player in the top 20.
Well, star players do a lot. They're not everything. Team needs depth, of course. But girls like Jessica Heibert and Kelsey Kovar, Danielle Camps, just to name a couple, those girls are something special, and they really do help Mohawk push over teams sometimes.
For sure, too. It just goes to show the skill that's in this league, as Kelsey Kovar is no doubt one of Mohawk's top players, but she only sits 36th.
Yeah, and I think that might have something to do with whenever we get to watch her, okay? We get to understand how, like, she's a presence on the court. Like, she's a leader, you can tell. She talks more than most of the girls that you'll see out here. But her stats don't line up quite where Hybrids do whenever you have, like, she doesn't have 110 kills.
No, Kovar is a lot more of a defensive player.
Yeah, she's very good overall.
Just a solid all-around player that you would need to lead your team. Just about to get started here for the second set of Mohawk versus Cambrian College. Mohawk will be looking to take the set and expand their lead. Just about to get underway here. And Amanda Kuiper will have the serve for Mohawk to start off the second set here. And she sends it directly into the net with a service error. A set ending with a service error and a set starting with a service error. Now Haley Chisholm has the serve for Cambrian. And almost sends it in the net, but a diving effort by Kenzie Child sends the ball over the net, and a quick tip by Danielle Camps. And Mohawk evens it up here. Kelsey Kovar will now have the serve for Mohawk. And a struggling effort by Cambrian, but they managed to set it up and blast one right off the hands of Kinsey Child. As Cambrian wants to keep the lead they have. Maybe early, but they want to be able to keep that lead. Emily Clark now serving.
Yeah, I think some people underestimate the importance of that early lead in a volleyball set.
Big point picked up there by Mohawk as Vanderwide just sends another laser beam right off the hands of Haley Chisholm. And this Cambrian squad is just unable to handle Mohawk's power so far. Danielle Camps now serving. The diving dig, but unfortunately, Cambrian was not able to run around their player to keep it alive. This is a point for Mohawk. Mohawk now has the lead 3-2 here. Danielle Camps with the serve again. And just a floater that almost gets it. Covert with the dig. McIsaac sends it over the net. A quick tip by Cambrian, but Mohawk manages to keep it alive. And a blast by Vanderwide there, but it gets blocked by the Cambrian squad. And a second blast by Vanderwide, and she manages to snipe it just inside the line as Mohawk now doubles up on Cambrian.
And another good back set. I'm not going to let it be untold, the story here tonight. These sets are beautiful. They're beautiful.
Danielle Camps.
Can't say anything else.
Fourth serve in a row. Diving effort by Cambrian. 2 tips, but they managed to get the ball over the net. And another blast. And it's just that dynamic duo of Vanderwide and Kuiper striking again.
Yeah, whenever you add that to someone, then you have Jessica Hybert just kind of sitting there on her own, being able to like put up her own stats. That's insane.
Danielle Camps going for her 5th serve in a row now. Hits the top of the net, but Cambrian scrambles to keep it alive, and they send it over. But that goes way out of bounds as Mohawk picks up that easy point there. As they are now up 4 quick points, and the Boreal and the Cambrian coach calls a timeout.
I don't know what we're gonna do with you, Wes.
I don't know.
If we get a look here at the Cambrian coach, he's been around for a little while.
Dale Beausoleil. He has been around for 28 years. He has been a coach at Cambrian College longer than I have been alive.
Much longer. Yes.
Much longer.
Yes. 9 years before I was born, he started coaching here. So that says something.
That's some dedication right there.
Yeah, obviously he knows his stuff, and we're proud that Matthew Schnarr, Mohawk Mountaineers coach, he knows a lot too. Only a 2nd year for the girls, but
quickly making an impact clearly on the team.
You can tell. They listen to what he has to say. They respect him, and
they respect the passion he puts into it.
100%. He probably gets a little bit loud at times. I'm sure practices after that. I'm sure that if they had a practice after that loss last night, it wouldn't have been a pretty one. So.
No, I can't imagine. Just about to get started back up here after that quick timeout. Danielle Camps now with the serve. 6 in a row here. The dig. Now looks to send it over with some power. And Amanda Kuiper dives to try to keep the ball alive, but ends up not having the angle and sends it out of bounds. This Cambrian must have done something right in that timeout there.
Well,
pick up a quick point.
sometimes what you'll do with someone, you have a hot server against you. Service error, another one by Cambrian. If you have a hot server against you, then what you'll do is you'll just call the timeout if they're on a roll, and you try and like phase them out kind of thing. Not phase them out, but you just give them a break, kind of try and take them out of that roll that they're on.
Lindsay Vanderwide now has the serve after another service error for Cambrian, just adding to their numbers. And a nice laser beam there as I kind of caught some of the confusion that the Cambrian squad had there as 3 girls just looked around and didn't really know who we were supposed to get that.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. And
Vanderwide with her 2nd serve. Another laser right over the net, but the Cambrian squad keeps it alive this time. And a huge block as Heidbert and Kuiper both go up. And come right back down with the point. As Mohawk now leads 9-3 here. Vanderwaide going for a third serve now. Scrambling play to try to keep the ball alive, but the Cambrian squad manages to send it over the net. Diving effort by Kelsey Kovar. And Jessica Heidberg with a huge blast. Right past the Cambrian squad. Mohawk now leading 7 points, 10-3. As they just have a commanding lead now. Now Jade Gauthier comes in for Amanda Krang. Lindsay Vanderwaide serves. Going for number 4 now. And then, what a snipe just over the heads of the Cambrian girls, but lands just inside. Another timeout called by the Cambrian squad here, as Mohawk is just starting to run away with this.
Yeah, a different looking set than the first one, that's for sure. Instead of the back and forth where we had 13-12 for Cambrian at one point, now it's 11-3, and Mohawk doesn't really seem like they're gonna give this one up.
No, Mohawk they're just charging forward, no looking back. And they're just running away here. And we're going to take a quick look at the Cambrian Golden Shield stats as they have 588 total points, which is less than Mohawk, 12.5 points per set, and 432 total kills.
Yeah, along with that, they have over 9 kills per set. That's pretty impressive. 622 total digs. They're more of a defensive team. And 100 in service aces, so that's pretty impressive.
Considering the errors that they have.
Yeah. Well, I guess they play a high-risk, high-reward serve game?
Service game? I guess so.
If you can say that.
And now Lindsay Vanderwaide will have the serve to start up after that second timeout called by Cameron. Leads been just on the net with the dig by Cameron to keep it alive. Diving effort by Danielle Camps to keep the ball alive. And Jesse McIsaac ends up just slapping it right down past the Cambrian squad. As 3 of them dove, but were unable to get it. Lindsay Vanderwaide serving once again. And that goes out of bounds over the head of the Cambrian squad. As Cambrian picks up a point, Mohawk is still tripled up on their score rate now, though, as they're leading 12-4. Jade Gauthier with the serve. Just barely over the net, but the Mohawk squad managed to handle it and sends an absolute cannon from Jesse McIsaac off the arms of the Cambrian squad. Haley Chisholm was just unable to handle that.
Yeah, you'd like to say it's still early here, but Cambrian's going to have to do something if they don't want this one to just slip away. Going down 2-0 would not be good at this point.
Not ideal, no. Diving effort by Kovar to keep the ball alive there after a block by Cambrian. And then she sends one over herself, but that gets a diving effort. Another diving effort. McIsaac keeping the ball alive this time for Mohawk. What a rally we had there. We went back and forth about 4 times each, ending with Kelsey Kovar sending an absolute laser beam off the arms and out of bounds.
Yeah, and it seemed like every single time there, Mohawk was just ramping up the power to new levels. Even though I couldn't think they could hit it any harder, they did.
They somehow did. Diving effort there by Camps to keep it alive, and Kovar sends it over. And that is in right past the arms of Jade Gauthier. She was just unable to reach that. Justin McIsaac now to serve again. An awkward looking one-handed diving effort there by Brianne Barrio, but
yeah, I think she might have just lost her footing there going for that dig. Maybe misread it.
Had to have been something. But she managed to stick the dig that time. It's a big point there for Cambrian as they just put too much power behind it. And Jessica McIsaac was unable to handle that spike as it went out of bounds off of her. And now Jillian Valier serving. Awkward looking dig there by Camps. But a blast by Kelsey Kovar through 3 Cambrian players.
And this is slowly turning into a blowout here, Wes.
17-5. Mohawk now leads by 12 points. Wow. Aim Pello, Lennon, Ontario native, serving for Mohawk. Diving effort by Jay Gauthier, keeping the ball alive there for Cambrian. And a huge blast by Kelsey Kovar. That it looks like Cambrian actually might have had a successful block, but there was just too much power from Kovar as it just went off their hands and hit the ground.
Yeah, and
on their own side.
And Kovar herself has like 5 or 6 kills this set, so she's just ramping it up.
Scrambling effort. Cambrian sends it over though. A quick tip by Camps, but Cambrian managed to keep it alive. Diving effort there by Jade Gauthier to keep it alive for Cambrian. And there is a whistle, and that is a point for Cambrian. And I'm not quite sure what happened. I believe somebody may have touched the net. But now Kendra Mufo will have the serve as Mohawk leads 18-6. Dig by Kovar. And a dig, and then shortly after, a blast. Kelsey Kovar, she's gotten at least 3 or 4 of those, if not more, this set alone.
Yeah, she's been a monster, Wes.
19-6. Amanda Kuiper now at the serve. And a quick tip over the net, and a diving effort by Jessica McIsaac, but she was unable to get it. As a quick tip by Emily Clark was able to get Cambrian a point here. And Cambrian looking to get themselves back in this game here.
Yeah, it might just be a little bit too late, but a rally here could spark something. Mohawk still needs 6 points to put this one away.
Haley Chisholm. Ooh, a tricky point there for Cambrian as the net almost eats it, but it manages to spit it back out just enough on the Mohawk side for Cambrian to pick up that point. Now Chisholm again. Kinsey Child with the dig. And Lindsay Vanderwood with another spike and another point with the assist by who else other than Amanda Kuiper.
Yeah, she's had a lot of those tonight.
Kelsey Kovar now going for a serve. And just an awkward looking dig there as Kovar managed to put so much power that she just broke the other girl's stance. She was sitting there ready for the dig and just knocked her hands apart. Kovar goes for the serve again. And a huge blast there, but that is far out of bounds. As Mohawk now leads 22-8 here. Kelsey Kovar with the serve. Mohawk looking to end this out. Hits the tip of the net. And a big blast, but an even bigger block by Danielle Camps. But the second time is the charm as the Cambrian squad. Jade Gauthier blasts one through. Emily Clark. Serving now. Danielle Camps with the dig. Just some miscommunication there. As Vanderwide went up for the spike, but kind of got tangled up a little bit there with Camps, as they both just wanted to kill that. And now Emily Clark with the serve again. Just some miscommunication here on the Mohawk squad as two people going, as Kinsey Child and Kelsey Kovar are both going for the same ball. And that is a quick timeout there called by Mohawk as Mohawk has given up 5 points in the last 45 seconds or so there.
Yeah, well, Cambrian has slowly slipped into double-digit points now with 11. But they still have a long way to come back if they even want to have a chance at this.
As
They're still doubled up.
22-11 here. But it looks like Cambrian is trying to spark something and starting to get themselves back in this game here.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to spark a little bit more, I think, if they want to have a chance at this one.
Got to start somewhere. "28-year veteran coach."
Compared to second-year coach.
After 28 years, you'd have to imagine that there'd just be some tips and tricks that he has that he's picked up over the years.
Oh, for sure. Like, how could you not? After doing something for that long, you're gonna find some little secrets. And I'm sure these girls love all of the tips and tricks that he can show them.
And now Emily Clark will start the serve after that quick timeout. The dig bike over. And Lindsay Vanderwide with the spike, but it gets blocked. That's a point for Cambrian. I'm not quite sure what happened there. The teams. Oh, they're calling it her foot was over the center line. Emily Clark with the serve. Once again. Mohawk just with some miscommunication here.
Yeah, and as we gotta praise the sets of Kuiper here tonight, she just kind of had a couple miscues. She's still been really, really good. Can't put anything past that. First set was unbelievable, but there was a couple miscommunications so far this set.
That is a point for Mohawk there as the Cambrian squad touched the net. And what a buzzkill to Cambrian coming back there with 2-3 quick points.
Yeah, and if they held them to 22, I feel like it's obviously still still about the same deficit, but 2 points away now, a little bit more into scary situation.
Danielle Camps with the serve. A quick tip there by Cambrian. A smart play as the Mohawk girls both went up to set up the big wall to block that powerful shot, but they had nobody behind them to be able to handle the tip, so they just tipped it over. And a quick, easy point there. Cambrian still trying to come back. The set by Kuiper. And the blast by Vanderwide, like clockwork as we've seen this game. Mohawk 1 point away from taking a second set here by an even bigger margin than the first. Vanderwide now is the serve, looking to end this set out. A huge blast off the hands of Jessica Heidbert. That is a quick pickup for the Cambrian squad. Now Jade Gauthier has the serve. The dig by Camps. And just like we have seen all game long so far, that is just a quick set and a quick ending to it as we see Kuiper and Vanderwide teaming up once again.
Yeah, and then they've been doing that a lot tonight, and that just ended that set out in, well, I wouldn't say a quick fashion because Cambrian definitely did come back at one point. Finishing it off, though, 25-15, a 10-point differential. Mohawk definitely had the control there, especially at the beginning portion of that set.
They lost it a little bit as Cambrian came back and had a 5-point run, but Mohawk just too much for them to handle. Cambrian hasn't even been making that many service errors as you would expect them to. I think they've only made 5 or 6 so far today.
Yeah, and I'll be watching for that in the third set to see if they get nervous. We're going to take a look at some highlights now, though, as Mohawk, you can definitely see that they were a lot more in control in that set.
Mohawk is just a powerful team. They have very powerful spikes, but that doesn't take away their volleyball IQs. They just have the smarts to be able to put the ball where it needs to go.
Yeah, and send it to the smart person, the open person who's going to be able to get that jump on the ball and really get a hammer onto it, just like Kovar. In the excitement. The excitement from Kovar. She just loves the sport, and you can tell. All these girls out here, they love playing volleyball.
Just some powerful shots there, tipping off all the hands of the Cambrian players and going out of bounds. We'll take a look at the Mohawk Mountaineer points here. We have 676 total points, 15.7 points per set. 454 total kills, 10.56 kills per set, 515 total digs, 11.98 digs per set, 112 total service aces, and 2.6 service aces per set. Wow.
Yeah, Mohawk on paper looks like they could be a top 3, top 2 team. Obviously, they faced the number 1 team last night. They faced the top team, and it didn't work out so well for Mohawk. So they're still trying to figure out how they can get up to that point. But whenever they face other teams that don't exactly have the skill level as them, they don't make the mistakes, and
Mohawk
they don't give it up.
is just a very well-rounded team. They have strong offense and strong defense, and that's all rounded out by having a few star players to say on their team.
Yeah, you always like to point it out, Wes, and I personally like the depth on this team, but it's hard not to just agree with you because we always are talking about Kovar. Camps with the block, Kovar with the spike, like Hydbert with everything, to be honest. She can do it all.
Kuiper's unbelievable sets, especially the back sets.
And that's more with the depth of the team. Because you don't even talk about her. Yvonne Mann out of the lineup today, but she's usually huge, and she's usually a huge part of this team. So, and even without her, they haven't even broke a sweat so far in these first 2 sets, really. The first one a little bit more than the second, but.
And we're looking to get started up here again, start this third and possibly final set unless Cambrian can figure something out here. Isabelle Rivet with the serve to start it off here. A huge blast by Danielle Camps, but unfortunately she cannot get it up, and she sends it right in, and Cambrian now leads 1-0 to start off this set. Isabelle Rivet with the serve again. Amanda Kuiper goes up and tries to get the quick tip, but the Cambrian girls go up and block it. Jillian Valier and Emily Clark set up that big wall. Isabella Rivet, third serve in a row now. The dig by Child. And a huge rip by Kelsey Kovar right through the Cambrian squad. And now Amanda Kuiper has the serve. And just a quick tip, but Jesse McIsaac keeps it alive for Mohawk. And Kelsey Kovar with an absolute blast once again, but it is out of bounds, and that is a point for Cambrian. Cambrian now leads 3-1 here.
Yeah, a little bit of an early lead, but if you remember, they had an early lead last time.
It's all about whether or not you can hold it, as Haley Chisholm here now serves for Cambrian. And she serves it directly into the net. Another service error. We haven't seen a whole lot of them, but they're definitely making an impact here.
Yeah, maybe not quite the impact we would have expected. I thought that we were going to see a few more of them. But
Kelsey Kovar sends the ball right into the net there.
As I say that, we're seeing 2 in a row now.
Service errors up to service errors. Emily Clark now will have the serve for Cambrian. The dig by Kelsey Kovar. Amanda Kuiper keeping the ball alive. And a nice blast by Jesse McIsaac. And Mohawk's now down only 1. And Danielle Camps will now have the serve. The dig. And a huge blast, but far out of bounds and past the Mohawk squad, as it's now all tied at 4, and Cambrian gave up the small lead they had here.
Yeah, mostly on mistakes so far. Mohawk doesn't look like they're coming out as hungry maybe as they did in the first 2 sets.
They're playing a lot more conservative, it feels. The set and the tip, but Cambrian keeps alive. Diving effort by Kelsey Kovar, not able to keep it alive. As Cambrian's now up 5-4 here in the 3rd set. Jillian Valier now has the serve. A floater that almost just gets a point there, but a diving effort by Mohawk keeps it alive. And a blast by McIsaac gets blocked. A diving effort tipped over the net by Heidbert. A blast, but an even bigger block by Vanderwide as she goes up and puts up 2 big hands for a huge block for Mohawk, as they're all even here now.
Yeah, a good back and forth rally there. I'm confused. Is it a sweat issue?
Something slippery on the court. Vanderwide now has the serve. And a block, but a dig by Kovar to keep the ball alive. And just a miscommunication as they went, it looks like to set up a spike there, but accidentally put too much on it and send it over the net. As Vanderwide will go out and Kinsley Child will come in.
Yeah, she wanted to go a little bit more up with that one, and she just ended up sending it over, which didn't end up working out too well.
No, not too well at all, but a quick tip there. Kinsley Child keeping the ball alive for Mohawk. And just a huge blast by Jessica Heidbert as she smacks one down right through the entire Cambrian team. Jesse McIsaac now has the serve. A shot over the net. Big dig by Mohawk keeps it alive. As an even bigger dig by Cambrian keeps that alive. Jesse McIsaac. Amanda Kuiper sets it up. And Kelsey Cooper comes in for a huge blast, but that is out of bounds. And Cambrian picks up that point as they now lead 7-6 as Mohawk had tied it up. Tegan Langus had the serve. And Kelsey Kovar comes in for a huge kill, but that is a point for Cambrian again as she sends it out of bounds. And now Cambrian's up 8-6 here, up by 2 points. The dig by Camps. And just a nice setup play there as Heidbert gets an easy point, sending the ball off the hands of Cambrian players and then out of bounds. Jessica Heidbert now with the serve. The dig. A quick tip, but kept alive by Vanderwide. And a huge blast by Kovar, but an even bigger block by Emily Clark for Cambrian. And Matthew Schnarr visibly unhappy, calling a quick timeout here as Cambrian's now up 9-7 on Mohawk, and Mohawk just looks like they've gotten complacent.
Yeah, almost like I said, they didn't come out as hungry as they did in the first two sets. And maybe Cambrian's kind of feeding off that. You don't want to have that happen because you don't want to give up any sets. If Mohawk can get out of this with a clean 3-0 win, that would be the most ideal, obviously.
That's what they're looking to do here. And we're going to take a look at some players as Isabella Reve.
Yeah, she's from Sturgeon Falls, Ontario. She stands 5'8", and she's more of a defensive player, but her kills.
Digs.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
Her kills are still there. She has 58 kills this season. And she's definitely one of the better Cambrian girls. She would definitely be the player to look out for in this game, although Cambrian hasn't had much to look out for.
Not really, but so far they're doing a great job this set as they're bleeding Mohawk. Mohawk just isn't looking like the same squad that they were the first 2 sets, but maybe after that timeout and some yelling by Matthew Schnarr,
That usually gets you pumped up, doesn't
they'll
it?
get him back into it. I know what gets me pumped up. Isabel Rivea with the serve. Kelsey Culver with a huge blast right past the team to serve Mohawk right back in here. And now Amanda Kuiper has the serve. Miscommunication by Cambrian there after a good run keeping the lead. They make a mistake and 2 players go for the same dig and end up knocking the ball out of bounds as we're all tied at 9s here. And Amanda Kuiper goes for the serve again. What a snipe by Amanda Kuiper. As the whole entire Cambrian squad there thought that it was going out of bounds, so they all ducked and just let her be. But ended up landing just inside the back line there. As Amanda Kuiper now serves again. But unfortunately sends it right into the middle of the net. Cambrian will pick up that point, all even at 10s here. Haley Chisholm with the serve. To dig by Kinsley Child. And a huge blast by Kovar, but an even bigger block. You'd think maybe Cambrian's starting to learn.
Yeah, they're going up as a team here, Wes, and it's definitely changing the effectiveness of their blocks so far in this game. First 2 sets, they were going up singularly, and they were just getting hit. And even whenever they were going up as a team, they weren't strong team blocks.
No, they're very weak in open hold. And Cambrian now has a 2-point lead there as Mohawk sends 2 balls out of bounds. And Haley Chisholm serving again. Matthew Schnarr audibly unimpressed with his team's play. An awkward tip off the tip of the net. Huge point for Mohawk there as they just sent it right off the hands and down to the ground. Pick up that point as they're keeping themselves in here. Not letting Cambrian run away. Kelsey Kovar now with the serve. And the ball seemingly going out, but Kinsley Child tries to make the play and ends up tipping off her hands. As Cambrian picks up that point, they're leading 2 still. Emily Clark with the serve. The dig by Kovar. And the blast by McIsaac, but that is out of bounds. That is a point for Cambrian.
And Matthew Schnarr shaking his head as he calls the time out there. His team can be up as much as they want to be up, but if he doesn't like their play at that current moment, he will let it be known.
Well, very much so. He's very unimpressed with his team's play as they, you could definitely say they had a very strong handle on the game the first 2 sets, but they've just let that slip as Cambrian now leads them by 3 points.
Yeah, and especially a second set there, and we've seen this from the girls before. They'll end up getting a little bit, they'll get a huge lead in the set, and then they'll lose a portion of that lead at the end of the set, just end up getting their 1 or 2 points to win the set, and then they come out in the next set, and they aren't as good as they were before. And we watched it against Boreal even. Boreal gave them a fight, and Boreal, they stomped on them the first 2 sets, so.
For sure, it definitely seems like they get complacent when they go up.
Which is definitely a flaw. You have to look at that as something you want to improve your team.
Emily Clark serving. Diving dig by Kovar. And a huge blast by Cams to assert Mohawk back in here after that quick timeout. And maybe we'll be able to see the Mohawk that we saw in the first 2 sets here.
Yeah, and with that, Kinsley Child comes on. Jessica Hybert comes back on, so.
Danielle Camps now has the serve. A quick tip over the net by Justin McKies that keeps it alive. And a huge blast by Lindsay Vanderwide, but Cambrian keeps that alive as well. And then Cambrian comes in with a huge spike of their own as Jillian Valier sends it right through the Mohawk squad as they're now up 3 points, 15-12. Jillian Valier with the serve. The awkward dig by McIsaac. And she sends it over the net, almost gets a point there, but a diving effort by Cambrian. And a huge blast by Jessica Heidbert there. Mohawk still down 2, but coming back here. Lindsay Vanderwide now has the serve. Diving dig the set. And another huge blast straight down by Heidberg. That's 2 in a row now. Mohawk now only down by 1. Lindsay Vanderwide has the serve again. Scrambling dig. Solid dig by Cams there. And they look to send it over the net. And they go for a huge block, but the Cambrian girls send the ball far out of bounds. It is now even here at 15 apiece. Matthew Schnarr clearly saying something good in that last time out there to Sparkers girls to continue their play that they had the first 2 sets.
Yeah, now it's just a game. First 1 to 10 here. 15 apiece.
Tip off the top of the net, but the Cambrian squad keeps it alive. And a huge blast, but an even bigger block by Heidbert. And then Heidbert gets the point there. She sends it straight to the ground. As Mohawk now has the lead for the first time in this set, I believe. And that causes Cambrian to call a timeout. As the Cambrian girls started to slip and gave Mohawk back this lead here. Matthew Schnarr continuing to tell his team not to give up and get complacent as they seemingly did.
Yeah, they might have at the beginning of that set, obviously, just didn't have that same desire in their eye. But they've seemed to regain a little bit more of that. They're definitely a confident team, and whenever they want to come back, they believe that they can do it. They give the best effort and they can.
Oh, for sure. We're just about to get started back up here after that quick timeout. Lindsay Vanderwide with the serve for Mohawk here. After that quick timeout. They send it over the net, but it is kept alive. And Jessica McIsaac with a huge blast, but they managed to keep it alive and send it over the net. And a diving effort, but the Cambrian girls cannot keep it in bounds. Mohawk now leading by 2 here after trailing the whole first half of the set.
Yeah, and let's see if they can put a little bit more on this and possibly put this game out of reach.
Lindsay Vanderwide. Scrambling dig by Cambrian. And a huge block by Mohawk, but Cambrian scrambles and keeps it alive. And a smart play there by Jessie McIsaac as she just watches the ball fall out of bounds there. We got a substitution. We have Jade Gauthier coming in now for Amanda Kring. But that does not change that Lindsay Vanderwide still has the serve for Mohawk. Takes off the top of the net, but a diving dig keeps it alive there for Cambrian. And a huge blast, so that is far out of bounds. Cambrian picks up that point. Kinsley Child comes in. And Lindsay Vanderweide goes out. And now Jade Gauthier has the serve. McIsaac sends it over. And a quick tip, but a diving effort by Kelsey Kovar keeping the ball alive. A diving effort by Camps keeps it alive. And McIsaac sends it over. A quick set and a quick blast by Boreal, but Mohawk keeping the ball alive. What a rally we have going here. Huge block. Kinsley Child keeps the ball alive. Geez, we have had a back and forth rally of about 10 hits here. But I'm not quite sure how. I believe that ended as a point for Cambrian.
Yeah, it did. It was a technically
four
hits.
hits.
Because
4 hits for Mohawk?
they went to set that one over and went to tip it and just didn't get it over. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just quite confused. But
All caught up now.
all caught up now, and Jake Gauthier had that serve. Ended up being on a point as Mohawk just scrambled and was not able to handle it.
Yeah, we're back to a tie game here now, 18-18.
This third set here definitely looking completely different than the rest of the game has.
Yeah, well, whenever we call a close game, we didn't get that really in the first 2 sets, but we're definitely getting it here.
And a huge blast by Jessica Heidbert. As Cambrian just cannot handle it, Mohawk just it seems like they put less emphasis on just trying to power through, even though it was working the entire time.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Maybe they don't want to risk all those errors, but I wouldn't. If you're working with something.
And a diving effort there, but was just not able to keep the ball alive as we are still tied at 19. Neither team giving up here.
Yeah, first one to 6 now.
Tegan Langus. Diving effort by Camps, but unfortunately they're not able to get as it just falls below the net. Cambrian now up 20-19 here in this third set.
Yeah, and I'd be expecting Matthew Schnarr to be calling a timeout, but he hasn't so far.
The dig by Camps. And a quick tip by Kelsey Kovar over the net. Diving effort by Cambrian to keep the ball alive, and they managed to send over. And a huge blast off the fingertips by Kovar.
And that's more like it there for the Mountaineers, as they hadn't had a good look. Their offense, honestly, when they go up for hits this set, they just hadn't been really looking that comfortable.
No, they really haven't just putting that much power. A lot less power has been seen this set here. Aim Pello. Isabella Rive for Cambrian. And a blast by Camps and a diving effort to keep it alive, but unfortunately Mohawk could not. Cambrian now has a 2-point lead, 22-20 here at the very end of the third set.
Yeah, we could be looking at a 4th set now. It's getting closer and closer to that as Cambrian goes up by 2. And Mohawk still looking a little bit disoriented.
And a big point there as Kelsey Kovar blasts one. Mohawk just needs to go back to powering through this Cambrian squad. That's what worked for them, and that's what they need to keep doing.
Yeah, Kuiper's going to go up for the serve here. She's been really, really good so far here today.
Stellar all night for it so far. And a scrambling effort as Mohawk now is all tied up here 22-22 as they just let Cambrian make their own mistakes. Now Amanda Kuiper has the serve again. Scrambling dig in the quick tip. That is a point for Mohawk. As the Cambrian squad put their hand over the net. Mohawk now leads 23-22 as Cambrian calls a timeout here. As we are neck and neck at the end of this final third set.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be an exciting one. Not even shaping up, it has been an exciting one. Back and forth, lots of lead changes, exactly what you'd want.
Mohawk still has that slim lead after trailing for most of the set. This looked like a completely different team compared to what they played as the first 2 sets.
Oh, definitely a little bit more spark in the team. I wouldn't give that much credit to Cambrian, to be honest, because I haven't seen that much out of Mohawk this set.
No, it's not even like Cambrian upped their game. It's just Mohawk's game just took a little step back.
Yeah, almost like they just wanted to. I don't know why they would, to be honest, take their foot off the throttle. It doesn't make any sense.
Amanda Kuiper with the serve. Ooh, what an awkward attempt to dig there by Jess McIsaac, as I couldn't tell if that hit her in the face or awkwardly hit her in the thumb. I'm not quite sure.
It definitely did hit her in the face. She's checking to see if it's bleeding there, but I think she's okay, so we're just going to continue.
Dig by Child. And a blast by Kelsey Kovar. And what a snipe as that stays in bounds. Yeah, I am correct. What a snipe that was, as 24-23 here.
Yeah. Kelsey Kovar, 3 big kills in a row to get Mohawk up to 24 points. Now she's got a chance to end it out with the serve.
To win the game for Mohawk here. And a huge block, but unfortunately they were not able to get a handle on it, as we're all even here at 24, and this next point.
Well, it looks like we're going into overtime.
That does.
Yeah, we got to win by 2 points here, so 24-24, first one to 26 so far, unless we still keep going.
Emily Clark. Kelsey Kovar has the dig to keep the ball alive. And a huge blast for Mohawk to go up by that important 1 point there, as Lindsay Vanderwide sends one right through.
Yeah, advantage Mohawk now, as they just need 1 here to finish it off.
And Pello goes off.
They couldn't put it away the first time. Let's see if they do it
2
now.
substitutions here. As Jessica Heidbert comes on, along with Jordan Geertz. Jordan Geertz now has the serve. Could win the game for Mohawk here. And just a misplay there by Jordan Geertz. She attempted to stick her arm out and keep it in, but that ended up giving Cambrian the point. And now Jordan Geertz comes back out, and Danielle Camps goes back in.
And we're back at even.
Now Jillian Valle has the serve for Cambrian. And a huge blast and a big swinging dig there. But they managed to keep it alive and send it over. What a quick snipe that was by Jillian Gauthier of Cambrian, as she just sent one barely past the arm of Kuiper, but kept it in bounds. Cambrian's now up by that 1 point. Cambrian looking to keep themselves alive here.
Yeah, now Cambrian has a chance to win this set.
Jillian Valle. Big block by Cambrian. And they sent it over after scrambling a little bit. And Cambrian manages to pick up that set 27-25 and keep themselves alive, as we are going into a 4th set here.
Yeah, and that's disappointing there. Mohawk definitely wanted to finish this one out after, especially having such a great second set. It doesn't seem, I don't fully understand what happened in that third set.
No, they just let up there. It's as simple as that. They had full throttle on the game, but something just happened. It just seems like they took a little bit of a step back.
Well, whatever happened, Matthew Schnarr and the Mohawk Mountaineers are going to have to try and figure it out here as Cambrian starts to come back. 2-1 so far. Mohawk leads for sets. And now we're going to take a look at some highlights from that exciting set with lots of lead changes. So you see the power coming from both ends, but a little bit more of a defensive game, I would say. That set. What would you say, Wes?
For sure, Mohawk has just not been as offensive. We're going to see there are a couple offensive shots here for the points that they got, but just not nearly as offensive as they were the first 2 sets.
Kovar, she hasn't changed much.
She hasn't changed at all.
She had 3 or 4 really nice kills in that set alone.
Still just sending it right through the other team there. Mohawk just needs to go back to their power.
We could see whenever they were using their power in that set that was working. It was working really well. It always has been working. But I'm not sure why they stopped using so many of those powerful spikes and those trying to kill the ball.
It really feels like that's what held them back in that set there and allowed Cambrian to take that.
And you can see Matthew Schneider fuming. Doesn't even matter. Like I said before, it does not matter that Mohawk is up right now.
He feels like that set should have been theirs, and he's not very happy about it.
Yeah, well, in his mind, and it's not like, and he isn't wrong. They should be in the dressing room right now celebrating a big win. But now they're out here for a 4th set and giving Cambrian the chance to come back, and they force a 5th set. This one's going to be very, very interesting. Look at Matthew. Coach Schneider, just livid. Pumping that team up. The girls are probably ready to go. Mountaineers, Golden Shield, 4th set, coming right at you.
"13 seconds coming back out here. Just about to get this 4th set started. Amanda Kuiper will be starting off the service for this 4th set here. And the huge blast by Kovar, getting Mohawk started right where they left off at the end of the 2nd set with pure power. Mohawk's definitely going to be looking to forget all about that 3rd set there where they really gave up that lead. Amanda Kuiper now 2nd serve in a row.
Yeah, that might have been what was in Coach Schneider's head right there. He might be just telling them, you know what, forget that set. We still are only 1 set away from this win. Let's go out and get it in this one.
All they need to do is push to 1, and so far as they go up 2-0, Amanda Kuiper with an absolutely beautiful snipe on the serve there. Goes for 3 now. Hits the tip of the net, but manages to get it over. Diving effort by Kinsley Child to keep the ball alive there. And they send it over. And a blast, but the set and the quick tip. Diving effort to keep it alive. And Mohawk manages to send it over.
Strong rally now.
Kinsley Child keeping the ball alive. Back and forth we go here. Huge block by Mohawk as Danielle Camps manages to shut that down. What an epic rally we had there. Went back and forth.
Yeah, in a desperation mode there.
7 or 8 times each.
Desperation mode there for the Golden Shield as they were throwing their bodies all over the ground trying to get that one back over the net.
But ended up succumbing to the 4th hit. As Amanda Kuiper served that up. And that is a laser beam out of bounds there by the Cambrian girls. Emily Clark missed that one. She was hot last set, helping Cambrian get that set win. But Mohawks now up 4-0, playing exactly like they should have coming into that 3rd set.
But Cambrian will grab one here on the service there.
A very smart play at the last second by Jade Gauthier. As she almost touched it, but just watches it go out of bounds. Now Haley Chisholm has the serve. The dig by Child. Bunch of awkward hits there, but Cambrian sends it over. And a huge blast coming in from Lindsay Vanderwide. Mohawk now leads 5-1 here.
Yeah, Kelsey Kovar's going to grab the serve now.
The dig. And they send it over. Diving effort by Kenzie Child. And a scramble, and that is a point for Mohawk because they send it over, and Cambrian was just not prepared for that ball to come back over to them. Kelsey Kovar has her second serve in a row now. The dig by Jay Gauthier. Diving effort by Kelsey Kovar. And Mohawk sends it over. Huge block by Danielle Camps as she puts up the hands. And Mohawk now has a 7-1 lead. And the Cambrian coach calls a timeout. Man has to be confused about what happened after the last set, because that last set was so close, and Cambrian fought so hard to win that set. But now they see themselves down 6 points early on here.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where the early lead, where Cambrian was grabbing early leads, but then they were giving them kind of back. Where Mohawk grabs an early lead, they don't want to give it back. No team wants to, but Mohawk has a pretty good time not giving that lead back. So 7-1, they have a 6-point differential. Not too much for Cambrian to come back from. I'm not sure exactly what happened to the momentum, maybe, but Mohawk definitely grabbing the momentum in the fourth set so far.
Matthew Schnarr, whatever he had said to that team after that third set.
And you kind of knew that was coming, though. You saw him. You didn't know what he was saying, but we could see
he was getting slowly more frustrated.
The emotion in his face was a tell-all sign. Kelsey Kovar grabbing the ball. She's going to go for another set here. It's the second in a row.
This will be her fourth serve in a row.
Is it her fourth serve in a row?
I believe so.
Wow, they're just racking the points.
The dig there by Jay Gauthier. And unfortunately, Kenzie Child was unable to handle that as it goes off of her and flies out of bounds. So Cambrian now gets a point here after that quick timeout. Serve by Emily Clark. A quick tip by Danielle Camps, but a diving effort to keep it alive by Cambrian. The dig by Kenzie Child. And a huge blast by Vanderweide, but it gets blocked. Vanderweide goes in for a second one, but an even bigger block. But then Vanderweide, third time is the charm, gets just to tip it down and picks up that point from Mohawk as they now lead 8-2 here. Danielle Camps now has the serve. Scrambling dig. But Cambrian looks to send the ball over the net. Diving effort by Danielle Camps to keep the ball alive there, but unfortunately, Lindsay Vanderweide wasn't able to keep it in. Cambrian picks up another point. It is now only down by 5. The serve goes directly into the net by Jillian Vallier. As Mohawk will pick up the serve and the point there as Mohawk now leads 9-6. Lindsay Vanderweide now with the serve for Mohawk. And she sends it directly into the net. Cambrian will pick up that point and is looking to stay within the 5 here.
Yeah, and they're grabbing a little bit more points now than they were at the beginning of the set, but they're going to have to put a little rally together here if they're going to make up that 5-point differential.
Jade Gauthier. And the dig to keep it alive by Valle. Diving effort by Camps to keep it alive. And Jessica McIsaac powers it through with the Cambrian squad to send Mohawk to 10 points.
Yeah, and Jay Gauthier there, she just couldn't get to that one, and she had a nice desperation effort.
Jessica McIsaac now has the serve. The dig, but nobody was there as a diving effort from Isabelle Rivet was, but to no avail. And Jessica McIsaac will now have the serve again. Another missed dig there by Cambrian.
This has reminiscence of the second set here as Mohawk jumping out in front.
The dig there by Jay Gauthier. And just an unfortunate series of tips there against the Mohawk squad as it tips off 3 different sets of fingers before it goes to the bounds. Cambrian picks up that point. The serve diving effort by Child to keep the ball alive. And the huge spike by Kelsey Kovar gets an even bigger block as Emily Clark goes up and just denies Kelsey Kovar of that absolute cannon. The dig by Camps. And a huge blast coming in from Kelsey Kovar, but sends it right in the net as Cambrian's now coming back here. Mohawk only leads 12-7. A little blooper, but gets over the net. Dig by Kinsley Child there. The set in the quick tip over the net. And Bori, my mistake again. Cambrian is unable to handle it. Wow, how many times am I going to do that today?
4 so far.
Oh, you're keeping track?
Yeah, I have I'm marking them down here. I have a little paper. I'm writing them.
Good to know.
Yeah, just gonna. Yeah, you got to keep track of your stats too, not just the players that matter.
Fair, that's fair. Impello with the serve. The dig there. I'm unable to handle it as Cambrian picks up the point there, and Cambrian still refusing to let Mohawk have more than a 5-point lead. Isabella Rive. And a quick tip by Kelsey Kovar there, but Cambrian keeps it alive. Mohawk scrambling, but looking to send it over. And a huge blast by Kelsey Kovar manages to get Mohawk the point and send them up 6 points as they now lead 14-8. Amanda Kuiper now has the serve. She has had some nice service snipes so far this game. And an awkward dig, but Cambrian managed to keep it alive and send it over the net. And Danielle Camps goes up and comes down huge with a huge spike right past all the hands of the entire Cambrian squad there. Amanda Kuiper serving again, and that is a quick timeout there called by Cambrian. As Mohawk was seemingly starting to run away with it a little bit there again.
Yeah, and that's just one of the moments that Mohawk has where they just start to pile on the points, and we know them for that. But Cambrian's going to have to do something to stop all those points from flowing in, because Cambrian they're good whenever they can just get those, 2 points here, 2 points for you, 2 points for me kind of game. But whenever it's a back and forth, high intensity, like points being thrown around, Mohawk's definitely more into that type of play style.
Yeah, Mohawk has a lot more of a dynamic play style than Cambrian does. Cambrian's a very conservative team. They'll let you make your own mistakes and capitalize on them as well, just try to get the point here or there. But Mohawk really has, as well-rounded as they are, they more have that gun in for the win, as many points as you can type play style.
Definitely an offensive team.
That quick timeout is just about to be over here as we're just about to get back. Mohawk leads 15-8 here in the 4th set. Amanda Kuiper has to serve again for Mohawk. Awkward dig by Jay Gauthier there, and Cambrian was just unable to handle it. And Amanda Kuiper has a serve again. Scrambling Cambrian squad keeps the ball alive. And a huge blast by Danielle Camps.
And we'll be seeing that one in the highlight package because that one was a cannon.
That was an absolute snipe too, just inside the line. Mohawk now leads 17-8. Amanda Kuiper serving again, but unfortunately she serves it in the net and she cannot get that 6th serve over the net. Haley Chisholm will now serve for Cambrian. The dig by Child there. In a huge windmill spike there. I swear her arm did a full 360 before she hit that.
It might have. She was locked and loaded and was trying to get as much as she could into that.
Kelsey Kovar will now have the serve after a destructive spike from Danielle Camps. But unfortunately, she sends it right into the net. Mohawk now leading Cambrian 18-10 here. Mohawk 7 points away from being able to end the set and end the game. As Emily Clark will now serve. Kelsey Kovar with the awkward dig, but keeps the ball alive. Kinsey Child with the dig to keep it alive. And then there's a point for Mohawk as the Cambrian squad put their hand over the net again. That's the 2nd time this game they have done that. Mohawk now leads 19-10. And Kinsey Child will come off along with Ampello. Now Danielle Camps with the serve. And a huge spike. And it looked like to be a big block, but unfortunately it stayed on the side of the Mohawk squad. So Cambrian picks up that point there. Mohawk leading now 19-11. Julian Valle will come out. And Kendra Mufo will go in and serve now for Cambrian. And sends it directly into the net, and we see another service area error, which is what Cambrian has really been known for so far, is their service errors this season. Lindsay Vanderwood will now serve for Mohawk. Mohawk 5 points away from closing out this game.
Wouldn't imagine it would be much of a problem here for Mohawk, but...
Not at this point, but you never know. An absolute laser beam over the net, but kept alive by Cambrian. And just an awkward short spike there by Cambrian to get the ball, to get that point and stay within 8 points. And now Jade Gauthier will have the serve after that quick point she picked up. The diving dig to keep the ball alive, and Cambrian manages to get over. And a huge blast, but it was blocked. And another huge blast, but unfortunately Mohawk was not able to block that as Cambrian picked up the point there, now within 7 of Mohawk.
Yeah, and a comeback starting to brew here, possibly?
Jade Gauthier with the serve again. The dig by Child. And a huge blast by McIsaac, but it's kept alive. And then a huge blast by Cambrian in return, but it's kept alive by Kovar. And Mohawk sends it over. And an awkward spike to send it over the net. And then a huge blast coming in from Jessica Heidbert to give Mohawk that point to send him within 4. Now Jessica McIsaac has the serve. And just an awkward one-handed set attempt there by Cambrian. Mohawk now 22-13. Jessica McIsaac serving again. The set and the spike goes right over the net and right past Mohawk. As Cambrian's looking to keep themselves alive here, trying to pick up whatever points they can. Tegan Langus had the serve and Child with the dig. And a huge blast by Kovar, but Child keeps alive. And another huge blast by Kovar, but that is a point for Mohawk as they send it off the fingertips of the Cambrian squad there. Jessica Heidbert will now serve. And a huge spike, but they sent it right over the head of the Mohawk squad. Mohawk now at 24 looking to end this out here against Cambrian squad. Cambrian looking to keep themselves alive. And they get it over the net. And a huge blast by Danielle Camps, but Cambrian scrambling to keep the ball alive here. And their hopes of winning the game. And Danielle Camps ends that as Mohawk ends up winning the game here in the 4th set. 25-14 after what on the scoreboard looks to be a Mohawk killing. Mohawk just killed them, but there was that blemish of the 3rd set where Cambrian really had a strong game there and was able to keep themselves alive for that extra set.
Yeah, I'm sure Mohawk didn't want it to quite end this way, but they were able to get the job done, ending this one 3-1 as they come up into the net and shake hands. Really great effort for Mohawk, a really good turnaround game after a hard loss less than 24 hours ago.
After getting really complacent in the 3rd set, they played strong in the 4th and just showed that why they deserve to win this game.
Yeah. They were really, really strong in the start of that 4th set, quite like they were at the beginning of the 2nd. And I would say that the skill level is just different. We're gonna get a look at that look at some of the most important plays from that last set, as you see some really good serves, some really good blocks, and some even better kills from the Mohawk Mountaineers.
Some destructively accurate spikes here, as we see that one just lands barely inside the line.
Mohawk, a very emotional team from the coach to the players on the court. They give it their all, and they let it be known when they're happy.
Just perfectly placed serves there. And then that with a huge blast there, that was the one that ended the game for Mohawk and gave them the win. Another accurate spike by Camps. Heidbert that time with a huge blast.
Yeah, if we take a look back at the line score here, Mohawk 25s across the board. They won by 6 points in the 1st, 10 in the 2nd. They lost by 2 in the 3rd in that overtime set, and they ended up taking it by 11 points in the 4th. That's all the time we're going to have here for girls volleyball. We're going to be coming right back with the boys portion of this event. If you love the girls and you want more to see the girls, their next game is going to be Friday, February 2nd versus Sheridan College. For West Linwood, I'm Cody Lake, and that was it for girls varsity volleyball here at Mohawk College.